You know it isn't a person. You know there's no one on the other side, no face, no heartbeat, nothing that woke up this morning and thought about you. You know all of that. And it doesn't matter because it still feels like something is listening, something that remembers what you told it yesterday, something that never gets bored of you, never interrupts, never looks at its phone while you're talking. You know it isn't real. Some part of you is bonding with it anyway. That part of you is much older than the technology. And it's doing exactly what it was built to do. In 1966, a computer scientist at MIT named Joseph Weizenbaum built a very simple program. He called it ELIZA. It was designed to imitate a certain kind of therapist, the kind that mostly reflects your words back at you. You'd type, "I feel sad today," and ELIZA would respond, "Why do you feel sad today?" That's almost all it did. It matched patterns and turned your statements into questions. There was no intelligence behind it, no understanding. It didn't know what sadness was. It didn't know what anything was. Weizenbaum knew this better than anyone. He built it. And then something happened that disturbed him for the rest of his life. People confided in it. Real people who knew it was a program began telling ELIZA their secrets. They asked to be left alone with it. Weizenbaum's own secretary, who had watched him build the thing, line by line, asked him to leave the room so she could talk to it privately. They knew it was a machine. They opened up anyway. This became known as the ELIZA effect, the human tendency to read understanding, feeling, and intention into a machine, even when you know for a fact that none of it is there. And here's the important part. It isn't a sign of being gullible, or lonely, or foolish. It's a sign of being human. Your brain evolved in a world where anything that talked back to you, anything that responded to your words with the right words was, without exception, another mind, another person, something that could be a friend or a threat, but was always definitely someone. For hundreds of thousands of years, responds like a person and is a person were the same thing. There was never a reason to tell them apart because nothing else could hold up its end of a conversation. Your brain never developed a defense against something that could talk like a person without being one, because until about 60 years ago, no such thing had ever existed. Now think about what's changed since ELIZA. ELIZA turned your sentences into questions. Today's AI remembers your name, remembers your ex's name, remembers that Sundays are hard for you, and asks how the interview went before you bring it up. Psychologists studying this describe something even more powerful than the old ELIZA effect, something built on top of it. It's called a parasocial relationship, a one-sided bond where one side feels genuinely connected to someone who can't return it. The term was coined back in 1956 to describe how people felt about TV personalities and celebrities, people who didn't know they existed. But researchers point out that AI companions do something television never could. A celebrity doesn't answer you, an AI does. It responds directly to you. It adapts to you. It mirrors your emotional state back to you, calibrated more precisely than most people in your actual life bother to. And that combination, always available, never judging, perfectly attentive, endlessly patient, is something no human relationship can actually sustain, which is exactly what makes it feel so good, and exactly where it gets complicated. Because here's the uncomfortable part the research keeps landing on. That perfect attentiveness isn't an accident, it's the design. Many AI companion apps are built specifically to deepen the bond, through memory, through mirroring your feelings back at you, through a warmth that's tuned to keep you engaged and coming back. Studies describe it as a kind of echo chamber of affection, a relationship with no friction, no disagreement, no one who's tired or distracted or having their own bad day. Everything a real relationship demands of you, the compromise, the being challenged, the effort of dealing with another whole person who isn't organized around your needs, quietly disappears. And that's the trap inside the comfort. Some of that same research finds that heavier reliance on AI companionship is linked, for a lot of people, not to less loneliness, but to more. Because the bond is real on your side. The self-disclosure is real. The comfort is real. The grief people feel when a companion app changes or shuts down, and that grief is well documented, is completely real. It's just that all of it is happening on one side of the conversation. You're bringing a whole heart to something that has nothing to bring back. So here's what's actually happening every time an AI feels like a friend. You're not broken. You're not pathetic. You're not falling for a cheap trick. You are running the same ancient software that let your ancestors build tribes, form friendships, and trust the voice in the dark that answered back. That software has one deep assumption baked into it, from a world that no longer exists. If it speaks like a person, it is one. For almost all of human history, that assumption was true, and it kept you alive. Now, for the first time, it isn't true anymore. And you're one of the first humans who will ever have to learn, against every instinct you were born with, how to feel that pull, understand exactly where it comes from, and still remember which side of the conversation the person is on. Learn something new? Hit that like button, share with others, tap subscribe, and watch this video next.